I get excited. All those
I
years of
do
bad luck.
too.
All those
Oh
years
my
of bad
gosh.
luck. It's like there's
Do you
something satisfying about the sound of breaking glass. Like,
do you know
there's
how much
something.
I've missed that sound?
Oh, yeah, it's
I've
better.
actually missed it.
Yeah, well, welcome everybody. I've missed it too because, right, Kim, Charlie, everybody out there who
Oh,
is a fan of Black Mirror, it is Brooker time again, and I'm over the moon. We've been waiting, waiting, waiting. Everybody's been like
we
chomping at the
have.
bit. Everybody's been complaining
Kind of
about
snuck up
how
on me,
long.
honestly.
Really? Oh, well, that because it's June. Like last time I turned around, it was like it was just after New Year's. It was like January,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's June. Like
I know.
where did all the time go? But welcome everyone. I've got Kim here with me that you all may recognize from many reviews. You may recognize Charlie Welsh Hines also
You
from.
may not.
You may not. You may have seen him on the shows with me. You may have even we did a couple of streams. We did a
Yep. Many
AI
moons ago.
today. We did a men's health issue during the Johnny Depp trial stuff.
Yep,
Like
yep.
we've done stuff, so they know you. Or like all over the place with these wrenches, Mr. Popularity here. But
He is.
yeah, but
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to Brooker, like people just unite. Like I know people in
Oh,
all different communities. If I mention Black Mirror or Brooker, we're just like instant
I
friends.
yeah, I do too.
Booker
Same
hookers.
same thing.
We're Brooker hookers.
Brooker hookers, that
No,
works.
don't let that catch on. I don't want to see that. Nope, nope.
Too
I
late.
don't want to. Nope, nope. Come on, this so not fair. But it has been a long road, but really not unexpected because just the fact that they're back out here is a testament to how much this series, as strange as it is, no one can seem to pin down the genre of it. Is it psychological thriller? Is it drama? Is it tech fantasy? Is it dystopian? Is it romance? Like
Is it
people
is it
put everything
nihilistic?
on this. Is it nihilistic? Exactly. Um
I
it's
think
all
99% it fits under the sci-fi umbrella pretty well, but branches out in every direction possible from that.
I think pretty much because it's
It
definitely
does.
all based in the future, right? Unless they're doing flashback. It's all based in the future and it all involves advanced technology of some way. Every single episode has something like that tied into it. Um so yeah, sci-fi definitely. And those of us that grew up just reading constantly sci-fi in all different kinds of genres, whether it be planetary or new worlds or dystopian, the end of the world, we I lived on sci-fi. Everything.
Yep.
Yep, from dragons to
Yep,
spaceships to like the answer to everything is 42. Don't even come at me about atoms
exactly.
because there's only one person that outshines atoms. That's Charlie Brooker
That's Brooker.
in my book. I'm sorry. Brooker's got it all for me because he's a team player, he's a writer, producer, director, but he lets people produce, he lets people direct, he lets people be the cinematographer. He builds amazing teams and he's just funny and intelligent and his view of the future is a little too realistic.
It
Um,
is.
mm, one
But
of
you're
the
right. He
reasons,
does know the people to put around him.
yeah, in Brooker's own words, one of the reasons we had a delay for season 6, not only because there was delays anyway, there was a problem with the IP. There was a company that owned the IP, and until Banshee bought that company, they weren't negotiating with Netflix. Netflix was trying to negotiate with them. So because Brooker and his other producer, oh my goodness, I always forget her name. Is it Anna Jacobs? I'm gonna
Oh, I
Uh,
just saw her too. I think it is Anna
I
something.
think it's
yeah.
and if I got that wrong, I'm gonna correct it as soon as I find the correct information. And I want to make sure. But they've been a team for a long time, but they started their own production company. But when they left this other company, they didn't own the IP for Black Mirror, so to
Yep.
speak. Okay, so there was a bunch of legal tie-ups, so that was part of it. But then Brooker came out and he gave you some interviews, and he's been saying, even if I did write, and I've been writing it, but it was so close to home. Just remember what was going on. We had the pandemic. we were dealing with a world that was getting more isolated. Technology was starting to take over.
And
Things were
being
happening
forced to embrace that technology more and more
being for
because we
right.
didn't have any other choice.
We didn't have any other choice but to Skype, right? Or
Look at
Zoom
Zoom.
or like
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
We didn't have any other choice but to go out on the internet for our entertainment, our bonding, and our connection. And that spoke really large volumes of like, oh, a little too close to home for Charlie Brooker in regards to his series itself, because he knows it hits a chord. He knows it hits a chord. He wants it to. He does a damn good job of it in every single one. Um, the other thing is, I don't know why they're complaining so much. Series history. It started in 2011 on Channel 4 in the UK. It's a British sci-fi series, by the way.
Yep.
That's how it was advertised at
Right.
the beginning. Charlie Brooker, of course, he's Englishman. And it started, and you know what? It took a year. It took more than 2 years for the second season to come out. It came out with just 3 episodes, and then the next one came out in 2013. I think the first one was released in December 2011, and in February 2013 comes out the second episode. Again, only a few episodes. Okay. Um, then there's a bunch of stuff about, Netflix wanting to like get involved in all of this. Okay. There was some not picking up for the third season, I believe. Some talk about all the seasons. Netflix buys like 12 episodes. And that's why the seasons got longer, because Netflix was putting them in sections of 6. So I think then 3 and 4 came out. Then they started working on Bandersnatch, which was part of 5. Now that caused a big delay. It is a
It
lot of
did.
Yeah.
controversy about Bandersnatch.
Right.
I personally enjoyed the heck out of that. It was a very social event. But then again, I did not watch Bandersnatch when it came out in
And I
2015.
could have done without it.
I'm guilty of I let that one go. I did not watch it until pretty much when we were reviewing it last year. Like I didn't watch it until like
I
2022,
know.
the end of 2021. And then I watched it multiple times. But I had a much more connected experience with it. I wasn't watching it alone. I was watching it with a group of people, and we were all changing the endings and talking about it all the time. So it was actually the experience that Charlie Brooker intended it to be. It was more like a connected kind of experience. Oh, did you find this ending? Oh, did you find that ending? It was more of a like, you could take all these different paths and end in all these different places. Much more like a ah
Choose your own adventure book from when we were
It
kids.
was. It was interactive.
yeah, interactive, exactly. Like feeling like, you could take all your path. So for me it was enjoyable. But that makes me curious, Kim. Why is it not one of your like it is absolutely if you say what is your least favorite episode? Kim always says Bandersnatch. First thing.
Bandersnatch.
She doesn't even hesitate. She's like
I
Bandersnatch.
don't.
So why?
I think for me, it did not hit as hard on some of the aspects that Brooker hits on the others, as far as the psychosocial.
Really? Because
Yeah.
psychosocially, this was a kid that was locked on the inside. We didn't know what was reality and what wasn't. Like, wow, for me, it was very psychosocial
Yeah.
because
I
it was,
just didn't get the same out
hmm,
of it.
Wasn't
ex-
linear enough for me. I prefer a little bit more linear.
Right.
mhm,
And that could be why I didn't feel it, because of
mhm.
that.
And I think that might be on purpose. Actually, the lack of being linear was actually maybe part of the plan to keep us changing the different scenarios. They didn't want it to go
Correct.
one way or another, and everything had to fit together. But um, I just found it a challenge to try to find them all, and like I kind of really got into it. So
It was, but
Mhm.
then it was like, okay, I found them. I'm
Yeah,
good.
it's true. Thank you, Literarian, for correcting me. It's not Anna Jacobs, it's Annabelle Jones, producer with him. They've got a production company, Brooker and Annabelle Jones. They are producing with Netflix for
You were
season
close. You were
6.
close.
Hey, I get that. There's a lot of names to remember, especially when you see the hit list and the new people coming in for season 6. But usually when we actually drill down on individual episodes, I make sure we get all the names right. We talk about the cinematographers, all the key players, everybody who has something to do with it, because to me that's part of the beauty of Brooker is the teams that he builds.
It's part
In
of the beauty of the show. I mean, if you put
Yeah.
everyone on stage to accept an award, they'd go all the way across the stage.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So many people. And even like the cinematography, I speak about that a lot in here. Every episode has its own individual. He uses different cinematographers. They actually present a very good feel for what he's trying to say. It's as visually pleasing as it is the storyline. It's not just the writing, it's not just the concept or the idea that it's like sci-fi and something entertainment. It is literally visually pleasing as well as visually challenging.
Correct. And,
Yeah.
with that also, the cinematography for a couple of episodes has been crucial to the
Mhm.
storyline.
Mhm. Very much so, especially in some of our favorites in all of
Mhm.
that. But thank you everybody who's joining us. And I'm looking at the chat. I see a bunch of new people, but welcome. If you have questions, just at one of us, or if a mod, if there you see a question, just at me. I don't want to miss anyone. But I do have two people here, and I want to keep them as entertained as well as keeping things going for all of you. Hello, Christian. Hi, Christian Music Channel. It's good to see you. I do see that at there. I see quite a few names. Thank you, mods. Just like let me know. But as far as the timeline, I think we can understand why it took so long to get here. Season 5 itself got waylaid by Bandersnatch, pretty much. They
Yeah.
released that, and that got stalled production. But they didn't get, just to wrap up the history, they didn't get actual full ownership in their stead-on contract back free and clear with Netflix. Netflix kept a binder on them. They wanted
Right.
Brooker, Brooker and Annabelle Jones. They wanted them. They don't want them to go anywhere else, but they couldn't use them because of this IP thing. And then that got settled around May of 22. It got released that they could actually start production. And it took just over a year to produce, but we have 5 episodes, not 3. So that's good news. In Charlie Brooker's own words, which in his interview I put in the description because there's some stuff there. He's telling us to hold on. This is totally going to be different. Totally going to be different. He's looking forward to challenging us all and actually making us expect the unexpected. So,
That's a hard bar to hit because I mean,
it
how do
is.
you can't even sum up Black Mirror. So how do you change? So that's very intriguing.
You know, if I recall, after the release of every series, when first one came out, they were like, he can't top those 3. Everybody wanted more. They said he's not going to be able to keep doing it, but he did. In my estimation, there is not an unentertaining episode of Black Mirror. It will make you think. It might make you think this is dribble and I can't believe I just watched it for an hour, but it is going to make you think because he really does go out of his way to try to stimulate you going farther than what he's saying. Like
Oh, yeah.
the whole thing is designed to make you think past what you're actually seeing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what he's actually saying. It's open a little bit for interpretation. Almost every ending, you're like, what?
And
Um,
just like every other show that I like a
it,
lot, I intentionally avoid any trailers, any
yeah, I would say
I know you're not so
absolutely.
good at that.
Yeah, not, no, and there's no real happy endings. There are no. They are gut wrenching stories involved in the Black Mirror
There
series.
are.
But I don't know. My fascination with Brooker is all tied into that. When I think of entertainment and creativity, if you get me to feel, if you get me to, my stomach hurts, my head's buzzing, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm something. I want real entertainment.
You
You
have
need
me
to,
thinking
en-
about it for days.
yeah, you need to engage me, and I can watch a Black Mirror episode at any time. And I will still find something in it I didn't realize before. It might hit me a
Exactly.
little different. I might we always talk about the Easter eggs, and I'm like, well, Now I'm on this thing with now that we found so many of them, I'm like, why, Brooker? Why? Like, how does this all
Well,
tie together? What are you trying to tell us?
Oh,
you
there's
Like,
know,
so many Easter eggs. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
Claire, I actually kind of have a theory on that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Brooker has, he's told us, yes, I put like little hidden things in there for you to find. He
Mm-hmm.
kind of laughs about it. I think it also goes along with the timeline. And I'm actually working on something right now where I'm mapping it out with all of the Easter eggs and the episodes so that I can figure out which episode goes where.
And why they're actually telling us like it must tie in together,
Yes.
like all together, like the song from 15 million merits, right? That is
Uh-huh.
played over and over, and that wasn't even the first episode, because wasn't it national anthem was the first episode, but did they
National Anthem
it was the
was
first
the
one that played
first one showed
in
in Netflix.
in Netflix, because that was originally the first one, but they
But
pulled it
15
in
Million Merits
UK.
was
Right?
the original first one.
And I wonder why, what was going on then. Like, yeah. And
I
just in case
know.
anyone is not familiar with Black Mirror exact episode titles, National Anthem is the one about the politician and the pig,
The pig.
and 15 million merits is the one about the cycling for rewards in money and this really limited lifestyle. You're living in a cube, everything's kind of dictated, and you're giving back. It looks like they're powering a whole world or something. They're the electricity providers or
Right.
something. I don't know, it's so weird, we
And
never figured that out.
I don't actually think they're powering anything.
I don't know, I think it's just a way to keep control, but
I
that's
think it
another
is
thing.
too. I think
Yeah.
it's a form of coercive control. And
And
I
is it
watched it.
not? Like, is it not? Because there's very black
Right?
and white life here. It's like you're
Yeah.
poor and you're running for your life, or you get this opportunity where you gotta sell everybody out to do what you want, and then maybe have a life with a nicer unit, still in a unit. Maybe you get fresh juice and a little view, but I'm not so sure the view is real.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
it's
think it is
like
either.
it's like, so you're going from the small little rat trap to the bigger bigger
Yeah.
cage, but you're
Because,
still all alone. Yeah.
this last week, I actually watched the entire all 5 seasons, every episode again.
Oh, that's dedication. I didn't do that.
I had
I
to
did I
refresh
did not.
myself.
I did not. I did not. I did watch a couple more episodes because, well, we have our favorites. So, like, on that then, we know how we got here. You've reviewed quite a few of them with me, because
Yes.
you used to come to my when I started doing this. You've
Yes,
been,
I did.
either in the chat or
I was
modding or
blowing
up
up your
here.
chat.
I would go to talk about something. She'd go, "Did you find this? Did you see this? Did you see?" I'm like, you don't need to be in
But
the
what about
chat doing
this?
this
What
to
about
me.
this?
This is too distracting. Get your butt up here, because, like, Dad, I can't do that. I can't read 27 messages in a row. Like, get your butt up here. But
Yeah,
that
and
worked
I was
out well.
typing all
Yeah.
of that out on a phone too, so that's how fast I type on a
Yeah,
phone.
well, you must love Brooker a lot, because that was a lot of messages. That was like, I think my mods would know you very well, very, very well over that.
She's the
Because
head broker hooker.
she is
I
the best.
am.
Would you stop with that Brooker hooker?
Hey,
There's like, no.
I
Oh,
will wear that proudly. I will put
okay.
it on a banner and wear it across my chest
Oh, I would.
and put my crown on.
Mhm. I don't know. I seriously love Brooker, but I don't know if I'm gonna hook for him. That's for sure. He's not gonna be my pimp. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not doing it. I do love him, but yeah, definitely not gonna do that. But so, what is your? I know your least favorite is Bandersnatch. I'm gonna start with you, Kim, because after all, you should go first. You spent the whole week watching all the episodes.
I
So what was your
did.
favorite? You should get a reward. You get to go first. What is your favorite episode? And you gotta
My
tell us why. Yeah.
if I have to choose one episode that probably spoke to me more than any of the others, it's Crocodile.
Crocodile. Now,
Yes.
the brief synopsis, that is about the woman who ends up committing crimes and murders to protect the
Yes,
secret, and she's like
correct.
out of her element. It's like normal person, something awful happens to normal person, and this is the really bad result of that. Like she didn't know what to do, kind of
Every
thing.
Right.
episode's a bad result. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But,
But
y
why
you
did
know,
that? Yeah, why so much? Because that's almost like when you think about what I just said about what it
it's
is. It's almost like
it's
an everyday thing. Yeah.
it is, and it's very bleak, and it's very dark, but I feel that we deal with so much of this anyway, and we see so much of that every day. And when you look at the psychosocial of it, of that one bad decision changed so many lives. And we can even see how it affected her in her everyday life. She was not truly happy in her
Mm-hmm.
life at all. I really don't think she was. And I feel like the accident that they had where, I believe his name was Ian,
Mm-hmm.
was the man's name at the time, where he actually hit the cyclist and cyclist ended up losing his life. They got rid of the body, they got rid of the bike. I feel like that almost caused some PTSD in her, and that's also kind of what Crocodile goes to, because a crocodile can also be an analogy for someone who was traumatized at an early age, and they're troubled by, um, it causes them trouble in their life, and they're just never able to relax. Because
Mm.
even when we see her going over her speech in her bathroom, she doesn't look comfortable. When we see her interacting with her family, there's not a lot of contact there or anything. And I think that's what spoke most to me on this.
Mm. No, I can see that. I can see that, but it was really, really dark,
It
especially
was
all of
very
the
dark.
yeah,
And,
yep.
Yeah, and to call it dark among so many dark episodes, that really
yeah,
says something.
it
Mhm.
does. And, probably my, because I really had a hard time picking one, but my next one is also another dark one, and that was White Christmas.
Wow. White Christmas is very dark.
Yes,
White Christmas is about the man they're trying to elicit a confession from him, and it tells a very, very dark story, a very bleak, bleak story.
right.
And a bunch of bleak stories it ties together about all of everybody involved. Everybody involved was a horrible situation and story. But that also that one I loved that one, and it is listed in almost all of the analyses of ranking them in order. The episodes, all 23 of them, including the movie. There are 22 episodes prior through season 1 through 5, plus Bandersnatch, which was a standalone. Now, interesting enough about White Christmas, that got released as the holiday special, like a special, because they couldn't come to terms on season 3
Correct.
in the UK. So White Christmas was released as a standalone special at the time, and it was disturbing, to say the least. That one had so much psychological. I didn't know what was going on until I knew what was going on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Right.
you're going and you're going, you're scratching your head through the good part of it, and then all of a sudden stuff starts falling into place, and you're like,
Oh,
aha,
yeah.
aha. And that's why there is a certain piece of modern technology that I am very grateful for over since I've discovered Black Mirror, and that's a rewind button on
Oh,
everything
yeah.
on YouTube, Netflix, everything. Just like whoop, and just like so I could catch it again. Like because once you
Uh-huh.
get that clue, and then you're going back to say, well, how does that fit into this that I was confused about, or that I was
Right.
confused about? And I did that a lot with White Christmas. Um, but there was I got to think about all these episodes when I watched the trailer too. For did you like the
Yeah.
ending of Crocodile? I mean, did it leave you satisfied?
Um, In a way, yes.
Did me, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
I
I
was
felt like justice was going to finally be done at the
Mhm.
expense of her family, though.
Okay. We have a challenge from Mr. Malliot. He wants us to talk him into liking this show.
It's my lord.
It's
My
Malort.
lord.
He is
Okay, that's right.
he is
I drank it.
royalty on these streets, and we must
Okay.
get him to like it.
He is royalty. I happen
He
to absolutely admire this person. He got me to drink Malort on stream. It was good. It made my brother puke. I won the bet. It's wonderful. Okay. I got more cred for drinking that stuff and actually drinking more of it. Like, and it's not bad. I liked it. I recommend. Okay. And I'm always talking about like trying to get them up for a stream, and just things have just not worked out. But I will try to talk you into liking this. I am a big fan of Brooker because of his ideology in film, in what he's doing with this series, how he takes it outside the box, the amount of oh gosh, linear thinking and chess piece playing that you have to do just to handle the technology angle of the stories that he tells to
It's
make it
crazy.
believable, to make it hit that spot in
Yes,
all of us that says, that's not that far off. We're almost doing that now. That's scary AF. Like, whoa. Like, and I think that's why he took a break when the pandemic and all was going on, because not only like here in the States and everything was in turmoil. Everything was getting crushed. How do you come out here with like some kind of futuristic thing about social media going to really cause great damage to people and ruining the world while it's happening?
right?
Okay, like right while it's happening, he's supposed to come out with like I understand why he held back a little bit. He said it was probably best. In I kind of agree. Not that I
Yeah.
think things are much better in regards to
No,
technology and social media in the world in general. But I think we might be just ready to make fun of it a little.
but I
So
do think if he had come out with it in 2020, it would have been too much for everyone.
I don't think we could have handled it with everything else
No,
that was going on.
I
I
don't think
mean,
so either.
mhm, yep. Mhm. Um, I just want to say excellent job, mods. Keep it up. Thank you. And thank you everybody for your interest in the chat in regards to what we're talking about. I want to do questions. I'm just looking for some that are right now what we're talking about here. What? So crocodile. Oh, I can't believe crocodile beat out nosedive for you because you really like nosedive.
I did like
And you
Nosedive,
and I
but
mean another
I
one you really went on about. Um, oh, there's two of them. But I think it's like the number 1, isn't it the one where the she brings her husband back? It's, something
yes,
you.
that one has changed for me
That
because
one
of
yeah,
losing Luca. I
mhm.
I really struggled to get through that episode this time.
Well, yes, well,
It was
I think anyone
extremely
who
hard.
had a loss would
Mhm.
absolutely and
Yeah,
no, I don't bring it up,
and, San Junipero was kind of the same way for me.
that
They're just
happens
not hitting the
yeah,
same anymore. Otherwise, yeah, they probably would have been further up, but
mhm,
since I've just lost him, no.
yeah. I think if you've lost anyone, those episodes hit home as well as Archangel. Any of the ones that talk about bringing people back in some way or living on. I mean, like even striking vipers, being able to go, like if you've got an illness or anything, being able to go into a virtual world and do whatever
Right?
you want.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah, being healthy again.
that really like I watched that during the pandemic over and over. And I remember I like got obsessed. And it's what that episode in Junipero is actually one of my favorite episodes because it is one of the only it dragged us there painfully
It did.
through glass in mud and everything.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there was a happy ending. And Bear, I always look through glasses with how I like things to be and not how they actually are. Even though I'm a realist, I know how the world is. I'm just happier with those little tinges of rose that come through here and
I
there.
know.
They just stoke my fire a little and keep me out here with all of the other stuff you have to deal with.
Yeah,
Just those little sparks. So when San Junipero came out, and there was all the dark in there. There
there
was the
was.
life, the death. Should you go on? Shouldn't you go on? What if your partner doesn't want to go with you? Oh my
Right?
gosh, it's new technology. Do I risk myself? Do I do that to my family? But it's not traditional. What about the people who went before? Like all these questions in San Junipero, and it was all, and so it dragged me through by the time I got to the happy ending, I was beat up. It was totally beat up, and my head was buzzing. But I was so happy to just ride along on that beach and say, wouldn't that be the loveliest way? You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
because it also spoke to in a larger sense. And I read an article once. It doesn't, Brooker doesn't like to get into these things about too much with the politics and too much with religion. But
Right.
Yep.
he did say on the happy ending of that one is maybe not believing that there is a heaven because of our beliefs in gods, but is there something
Is there
like that
something
that could be
else?
offered?
Right.
Isn't
When
that what
we,
they're talking about?
yeah. And that's kind of the part that I really do like about it is knowing that there could be
Hmm.
that place like San Junipero where you are reunited with loved ones after
You
you
are.
cross over.
Yeah. And that's what really spoke to me about that. It was a little bit more positive. But on that, I'm just like, oh no, like I just did this like rosy colored one, and I'm gonna ask Charlie what his is. And knowing Charlie, it's not the happy ending one.
Right.
No, no. Like ever Claire knows I'm very drawn to post-apocalyptic anything for
Mhm.
literature, movies, anything, games, all of it. So Metalhead is definitely my favorite.
Metalhead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. With the
And
that.
robot
I was
dogs.
interested to find out that it was directed by David Slade, and I looked
Hmm.
into that, and he directed 30 Days of Night, and then there's a very similar vibe to that.
Hmm.
Right.
It also kind of like a Terminator vibe, where it's just hopeless and you're totally outclassed by the enemy. There's no help coming, and it's very very bleak, definitely, and black and white. I don't know how many other episodes are black and white. I don't think any really.
I believe that
Um,
was the only one.
that was completely black and white,
Yeah.
Correct.
but the use of filters in cinematography, which I talk about all the time, is used very creatively in all
Yeah,
the
I
episodes.
compare it
Like,
to like The
yeah.
Road, because The
Hmm.
Road is one depressing ass movie, and it's not black
Right.
and white, but it's colorless at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, if you notice how faded out Bandersnatch was, it
Yeah,
looked like a 1960s film you pulled out of the basement and just put on a reel and watched.
It
If you look
did.
at Nosedive, where everything is tinted pink at
Everything's
sometimes,
pink and
okay,
happy and bright.
the actual industrial visual look and feel of 15 Million Merits, it was bleak because look at how when he looked out the window, how stark that was. It looked so fake.
yeah.
Like there was color. They used red, they used purple, they used real people, but everything was kind of muted down to be almost sterile. I guess sterile would be a better word than industrialized, but to me they kind of mean pretty much the same thing. But a lot of
Basically,
gray,
yeah.
blacks, faded greens and all. It wasn't visually pretty. It was visually stark, and I think it on purpose.
Just like
Um,
Metalhead. Yeah.
Right.
Metalhead was just was well,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
because
desolate.
yeah. So tell them a little bit about Metalhead and why you like it.
Pretty general mankind versus, I don't know if you want to technically call it AI, but AI is kind of the end game. You don't really know a lot of details of how we got to where we are, which usually bothers the hell out of me, but I forgave it on this episode. And like, there's not like a living creature anywhere, which basically implies that these dogs, which is the enemy, they run into a robot dog,
Mhm.
that looks exactly like we've all seen the Boston Dynamics ones doing all their little formations and rolls and getting smarter and smarter. I think probably used that just because it was something we've all seen and we could all easily and immediately relate to that. But yeah, it's just a pretty basic story of one character, really. There's other characters at the beginning, but they're almost insignificant. But it's just one woman running from this thing as it finds them at the beginning when they're looking for something, and they purposely kind of don't tell you what they're looking for till the end. But this thing accosts them, and the whole episode is it chasing her and her trying to outsmart it. And a really interesting part I found is like symbolically is like about halfway in, she's pretty well screwed. She's just hurt her leg. She had to pull a tracking device out of her leg, and she crawls up a tree like a like a
Right.
like a bushman in the Serengeti crawling up to get away from a lion 20,000 years ago. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, and I think that's exactly what it's supposed to symbolize is that it's just so primal. But yeah, it tells you that she's after something for her dying nephew, and that keeps alluding that he doesn't have much time, and
Hmm.
they really don't tell you. But at the end, you find out that they're just after a teddy bear to make his day better because
Yeah.
she does say something about, yeah, but his is all worn down or something, but they don't tell you what that is until the empty box or the box with teddy bears spilling from it at the end.
Yeah, and
And it does end very darkly with her taking her own life, but I did
Right.
notice, if you want to go crazy with it, it didn't actually show her do it. So she might have gotten through that moment. We don't
That's
we
know.
true.
yeah, we didn't know, but it did bring up the big question: is it better to when you know that there's nothing there? Like they really laid it out that no matter what, this was pretty much the end. Those things are relentless. It's
Yeah,
the
it
point
doesn't
Oh
give
where
you any
yeah.
yeah,
details, but you gather that there is not many people left at
there's
all.
not many people left, and these things are just designed once they get your scent, which they did.
They
That was it.
did.
They do not stop. There's no way to stop it. It like
And I
that
think it's
came
worth
back so many times. It was
I think
worse
it's
than
Yeah.
worth
Terminator.
alluding I think it's worth alluding to the Easter eggs in this episode because I think they're kind of significant. Like the postcard when she's ransacking through this house that she's has keys for, and she finds she doesn't the camera doesn't look at it extensively or anything. It's really fleeting, but you see a postcard from San Junipero,
Right.
Mhm.
and you also towards the beginning see a weathered, beaten down truck with TCKR on the back, and that's the same company from San Junipero.
Mhm.
So it makes you wonder, could that? It doesn't take much of a leap to be like this could be way after the events of San Junipero, or before for that matter.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
and we see the TCKR through so many other episodes. We saw it in playtest
Right.
because that was part
And
of the Tucker gaming system.
and in
Mhm.
the scene when she climbs the tree and she's stuck up there, she comes up with an idea to try and drain its battery overnight, and she keeps
Yes.
waking it up, and she is waking it up with the same little sweets that Shazi ate in Crocodile and
Uh-huh.
is in
Mhm.
several other episodes. The little
Yeah.
Yeah.
striped candies.
The little
Yeah. See.
peppermints.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
See, you guys
lots
have
of
a
them.
good eye for that. Like.
And
Mhm.
then at the very beginning, my favorite Easter egg was really cool when her friend Clark, I think, is
Mhm.
trying to hack into a car, and there's
Mhm.
lines of code on the screen that say
Yes.
several things. They say like the USS Callister. There's even
Right.
one, if you pause it fast enough, it says, "Why did you bother pausing here, freak?" And you can see
Yes.
that
Yes.
in the code. Yeah.
Charlie puts stuff like that in there all the
Yeah.
time. I
They
love it.
It is. He's like talking to us, like, okay, you found it. Move
Yeah.
on. Like, move on. There's
Yeah.
more to see here. Like, keep going.
I know,
No,
and
it's
so
great.
many people don't catch up on that.
Mhm.
So good job, Charlie.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
was a
just love Easter egg stuff. And
yeah.
I
this
do
I
show only
too.
had a 2-page script. That's how little
Right.
words are in it. I mean,
I
it's really
know.
just her
Yeah,
against
Well, it's just her and the dog, really.
yeah.
And you
it
mentioned the
is.
tree. You mentioned the tree and the dog. That was one of the hardest scenes, besides the
Oh,
ending scene where she's talking in the mirror to herself. Beside that was the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
I
it
was
was.
terrified. I was like, "This is the end of it." What? And
But she
it-
does ultimately beat it. She she's in that same building and she finds two bodies on a bed that took their own lives, and she obviously knows who they are, the way
Mhm.
she reacts, and she gets her
Right.
shotgun, clever use of some paint on the sensors of the robot, and she just shoots it with every shell she has in the air quotes
Mhm.
head of its body and does take it down. But as it goes down, it does its little tracking device thing and shoots up the thing in the air, and she gets hit with multiple ones, and she removed one from her leg earlier and it looked like a absolutely awful experience, so there was no
Oh,
way she
yeah.
was going to get 5 out of her face.
No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those are to send the other because it's not just one robot dog on
No, and then
the
at the end you can see
Mhm.
more than one going.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
coming. She knew that they were coming, and she knew that once there was more than one, the chances
That
are
was it.
once
Yeah.
that marker was on her,
Oh, yeah.
before
I
that
mean,
she had a her wits at least.
and for
She
all
had
we
a
know, this
shot.
could have been the last human settlement on Earth.
Well, that's what it kind of
Yeah.
leads to. When you say
It
that there was
does.
the postcard from San Junipero and you've got like the decals and everything, and the whole thing is shot. It's like a desert land out. It's like as if the bomb has happened and everything's a
Yeah, and
wasteland now.
that
Right.
TCKR
Right.
truck looks like
Mhm.
it's been sitting
Yeah.
there for
And
10
and
years.
obviously she's got
Right.
like keys and stuff like that. So she has the things she had when it happened, and she's going back because she can go there. She knows what's there. She knows the people, like you said. She knows how they went out. Um, you know, whether they fought or not.
And in
They
general, it's pretty poorly received and reviewed, but I just love it.
it is, but critics loved it.
Yeah. The
Like
critics did
people
love
were
it.
slamming it because I think because it was so depressing. Because
Mhm.
and most times when a Charlie Brooker episode of Black Mirror comes out, and I'll expect this to happen in season 6 too, it'll get panned. That first episode is going to disappoint
Oh,
everybody.
yeah.
Number one, they waited so long. Number two, Brooker is so amazing in what he gets you to think. You just expect the man to sell you the moon like as soon as you get
Right?
there. But that's not it. You see, the thing about Black Mirror, and this should do it for you, Mr. Malyot. The thing about Black Mirror is you can't just watch it once and make up your mind because I can guarantee it changes for you the second time.
It
Because
does.
Black Mirror episodes, in the way Charlie Brooker writes, he writes in such a tone, and I'm going to speak about writer's tone here a little bit. I don't mean to sound all like up in the air and all of this about it, but there is a thing about writer's tone. You're either speaking to the people or for the people or for yourself. And this is like third person, first person, whatever. When Charlie Brooker writes something, every single line is up for multiple interpretation. Every scene
Oh, yeah.
says one thing, watch it again, it says something else. It depends where you are, what you're thinking, where your mind is at the time. Let's say that. In other
Yep.
words, you could watch it today and a year from now it'll say something totally different to you or expand on it or it'll hit you just a little bit different or things will make sense in a little bit different way. And that's what I love about it because here is a series that I'll go on record to say is timeless. I, in my generation, witnessed one of the only classics that we will have from our generation. This is going to last. This
Oh,
will
it
speak
will.
to the future. It will speaks to the past. It speaks to now.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, when there's like 100 people left in America and they're
Mhm,
huddled around a TV hooked up to a generator, and they find Black Mirror on a fucking
mhm.
thumb drive, they'll be like, "Holy shit, they knew all about this stuff, and they
Right?
didn't do a
Right.
damn
They're like
thing."
they're geniuses. Like
Yeah.
they had this technology and they kept it a secret. And
Why
it's
didn't
like
they do
and it's
anything?
like who was Charlie Brooker in his secret society?
Right?
And then a whole religion. Then we get a whole religion, the Brooker hookers.
No,
Exactly.
not the Brooker hookers. Oh God, stop! I'm not. Can you see? I'm gonna have to do a whole cult episode on these, like the
A whole
Brooker
Bible
hookers.
that's only on
Yeah.
Kindles because it's Black Mirror.
Oh my gosh, right? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that's what it in and like I don't know how to entice Mr. Malort more than to say that if you love all classic literature, all of the greats, I don't I've read everything, Russian, German, all of the great classics, American, new modern American authors, all of the great classics, and still I think Brooker could actually, if this was in book form, this was what it would be. but it's not. It's in film. It's a series. It's in cinematography, but it weighs that heavy. Like
Quite
it's a
honestly, I
heavy
think
hitter.
you like it more than I do, but I know one reason I was drawn to it was I'm a huge Stephen King fan and
Mm-hmm.
how that whole universe is connected,
Right.
through different spider webs and branches just like this, and I always
Well,
liked that.
well, Stephen King also likes to write a little bit about the future
He does.
occasionally, and about he likes to write about disasters, but more than not, Stephen King is more a character writer about how people respond to those
Oh
things.
yeah, oh yeah, that's why I like it so much.
Where Brooker fills in the visual of what it
Way
looks
more
like while
situational, yeah.
he fills in the visual of what it looks like while they're going through that.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Um Point example is one of, like, I know San Junipero is my favorite because of the happy feel, the technology in San Junipero and in Striking Vipers intrigues me beyond. And it was it the pandemic? Yeah, obviously that really got me thinking
Right.
about it. Was it because I couldn't go outside? I know I have issues where I can't go out that much anyway. My life did settle down to be almost sedentary, so the fact that I could actually live as vivaciously as I feel without the physical exertion was tantalizing to no end. It was like if that was real now, that would be like I would sell my house for it.
Oh, yeah, I agree with
Mhm.
you on striking vipers because,
Mhm.
I deal with some mobility issues due to some autoimmune problems and everything. And yeah, I agree with that. If I could have
Mhm.
a very physical lifestyle back, would I do it? Oh, yeah,
Think of
definitely.
think of what it means to people that have athletes that have had accidents, or people who had very active lifestyles and then they lose it. And that's the point where I'm coming from. Like, you came from being like really really active, you know what that's like.
Yeah,
Okay, and you lose it and all you want to do is feel it again. It could help there. It could also help people who have never felt it, who have
exactly.
something going on in their life that never had the freedom to walk across a room uninhibited. Or how many of us, even everyday average person, how many of us haven't thought about what it would feel like to fly, or to just appear
Oh,
somewhere,
yeah,
or to just not have any physical inhibitions on us at all?
right.
Just like, I want to think I'm going to be there, I'm there. I want to do this, I'm going to do this, and it's done. Because life is hard. Life can be physically challenging,
It
mentally
can.
challenging,
A
and
woman to that.
exhausting. Yay, yay.
Yeah.
And so that part was tantalizing to me. And I was happy about that because he gave me hope. But at the same time, Brooker took it away from me too during the same period of time,
Oh, yeah.
because Kim will be with me on this one. We did a review of an episode that terrorized me during the pandemic beyond whatever. And that would be the one with the cyber bees.
And you do see that I am the drone beekeeper.
I did. You did that on purpose because she's just to make it clear, YouTube. My own guest here is harassing me about the assassin cyber bees. And oh gosh, Kim, why can't I remember the name of that episode? But anyway, it's all about
Hate
social
in the
media.
nation.
Oh, that's right. Most hated. I always confuse that
Most
because
hated in the nation.
I remember
Because the
national anthem, and then
national
there's
anthem and
and
then
then most
hated in
hated
the
in the
nation.
nation. And it's called most hated in the nation because that one had a true social media is out of control
Oh,
vibe.
yeah.
This was all about
Yeah.
people's lives getting ruined over one mistake, getting piled on people, like, and then these bees, people sending this I kid you not, cyber
Assassin bees.
assassins. They are not real. They were like designed because the bees were dying. And this was at the time that the bees dying all over the world was a big thing.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And we're all trying to save the bees. So what does Brooker do? He creates this hive that is like brilliant. And now they've got cyber bees that help encourage the hive, and they're pollinating and everything's great and the
They
food's all
are.
productive. But then they get cyber hacked and hijacked to
Yes.
become assassins with very specific people in mind. Like, if you did anything wrong, they would put your name and code in one of these bees and you're done for. That
Which
bee's going to
also
find you.
backpacked on the murder hornet thing.
Uh-huh, on the
It
murder hornet,
did.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And, it wasn't just that they would attack you. No, they would, like, fly up your nose and explode your brain.
And explode your brain. Like it was a horrible death.
It
It
was
was
a
a
horrible
terrible
death.
death. And the one scene where it actually got into the tiniest crack of a
Oh
window,
my
they
gosh.
had people with AK-47s
Yes.
protecting them. They had people throwing their bodies over them. And
Yes.
that killer cyber
That bee
assassin
went
bee
it kept going
got
right
there
after its
anyway and went
target.
right in there, right up her nose, and that was it.
Uh-huh.
And then Brooker, damn you, I'm gonna say it again. You slow mo that damn bee
Oh,
going up her nose too, like
he
you killed me.
did.
I
He
was like,
did.
no. But but it's the technology. Like that technology terrified me more than we've got technology that captures all our memories. And
Yeah.
then we had the issue in that episode about whether if you view someone else's memories, is that a violation of their privacy? Like, where do we draw the line? If you're part of
Yeah.
those memories, do you have ownership of any of them?
Right. And
Okay.
with
Like,
with that
wow.
with crocodile, it's like how much of our memory can we actually control? Because I feel like so much of what we saw with um oh, her name just left me, and I'm usually so good with names. The woman in Crocodile.
Yeah,
I feel like
you
I
don't have
feel
to
like
remember the first name.
I feel like so much of what we saw with her was her subconscious memory coming forward,
Mm-hmm.
because we see her in the bathroom right before Shazia's about to put the memory recaller on her, and she's like, "I hate hotel food. I hate hotel food. I hate hotel." She's doing anything she can to block out what actually happened, and that subconscious memory is right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's in an amazing movie I'd like to throw out there that I don't think a lot of people have seen called
Oh no, go ahead.
To Leslie. It's really good.
To
Yes,
Leslie, yes.
she is
Yeah.
an amazing actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I like about streaming with you, Charlie. You have such a good idea for detail and you love entertainment as much with the movies, the books, music even.
Speaking
Um
of, what's your favorite?
Yeah,
it's a toss up between San Junipero and the one I love the most that made me the happiest and the one that terrorized me the most, which is Most Hated in the Nation. But I had the best time with Bandersnatch because it was, I mean, we were all watching it. Didn't you watch it also, Charlie and Aaron and I know
Yeah.
Record did. Kim, you watched it.
I did.
Culture Cats watched it. And we were all like all the DMs back and forth, that all the individual conversations I had about it, and then being able to stream with a whole panel and talk about like just one episode. It was like the whole thing for it was great for me. And
I'm
plus I
sorry,
just
but Brooker's Hookers has taken off.
I see that, and you will pay
I
one
will.
way. Yes, you will.
I will.
But I see my mods are helping you with it too.
I'm
Damn it.
I'm gonna change my name later. Just
Yeah.
warning you,
To
Claire.
Kim Brooker Hooker. I'm gonna use. They actually made you Brooker Hooker number one, and Sean is Brooker Hooker number two,
Yeah,
according to Mrs. Cassandra.
yeah.
But
I may change it in Discord
I
just
will
for
hook
this season.
this. I decided to hook with Brooke, but I ain't hooking for him. I'll tell you that. Yeah. I will hook with the Brooke. No, any day. But not yeah. But oh gosh. I don't know. So that was favorite episodes. I don't know. I don't know. You want to do worst? I mean, it's hard to really pick. I would say that most people agree with Kim that Bandersnatch was one of the worst when you talk to them. But the lists are saying no. Like the list put things like that. The list put Striking Vipers up there is one of the
And I
worst.
don't get that.
Smithereens, okay. Smithereens, White Bear, and Men Against Fire. They get trashed all the time.
I know, and those are always way up in my top 10. Way up. Like, most of them are in my top 5.
Smithereens, I think it was because the plot was just weak. I think a little bit, and it didn't really get good until you actually added your own feelings kind of into it because
Right.
it's about a hostage situation, the whole thing. Um,
But I really think that that was another one of those that you needed to watch more than once to
yeah,
take it. There was so much in it.
Hmm. The one that absolutely tore people up, and I understand why. For me, I loved the premise of it. I loved the actual mm, the actual statement that he's trying to make about it. It's like a zombie thriller with a fucking justice thing going on. White
Yeah,
Bear. White Bear, right?
White
Yeah.
Bear.
Traumatizing for anyone thinking about
Oh, yeah.
why White Bear had to be even a character, okay? Um, there's very little dialogue that actually gives you any clue. You've got to really watch everything that's going on. Um, it draws a lot from a horror movie kind of feel
Yes.
about the whole thing. But then when you figure out why it's going on, it's like a aha. The catharsis that happens afterwards, it's shuddering, shattering, almost violent when you
Shuddering
realize
and shattering.
shattering and shuddering. Yes, because I was like, broken and trembling and just like, "Oh my god, that's what you mean? That's what it's all about?" And it hit home so hard. I was like, it was an emotional roller coaster. The whole premise of it about punishment, what does society do? The indictment, like how far do you go?
Yeah.
It to me at that time it was like, do you become the monster to cure the monster? Do you need a monster to take down a monster? Like sometimes you always want to do the right thing, but is doing the bad thing against somebody who did the bad thing, is that okay? Like it it brought a lot of questions to mind, and still
Yeah,
again about society and social media and how everybody coming together and like taking this all over. R-
exactly.
Really rough episode, but
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that one might got you too, Mr. Mario. I mean, you gotta watch one and then you gotta come talk to me because
I know.
now I'm challenged. Like I want like and because if you don't see what I see, I want to see why. I really do. I love to talk to people about these. I've made many a convert. And I'm
Yeah,
surprised. It is quite niche. It did not get pushed out it was on Channel 4 in the UK at first,
right?
and it really didn't get picked up for the third. It didn't get
No.
they really didn't want anything to do with it. But over here in America, it took off like
Oh, we love it.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was one of the most replayed things on Netflix when it came out over and over and over again. It was
Uh-huh.
kind of a silent secret. That's what I want to ask an interesting question. And I want the chat to answer too. If you've watched the series, I want to know how you found out about it. Who in your life turned you on to it, or how did you hear about it? Because I'm going to start with you, Kim. How did you find out about Black Mirror?
It actually came up in my recommended in Netflix several years ago from other shows that I had watched
Mm-hmm.
that had kind of that dystopian feel. And that's how I found out about it. And
Probably me too.
yeah, and I started kind of looking into it more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I learned not to watch National Anthem first and that it was okay to skip around. So I did that. And, I just started watching them over and over and over. And I mean, Claire can tell all of you, I watch these shows like I am
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I
But
have
like for
notes
like
and notes and notes on them.
but
Mm-hmm.
like for like Mr. Malort, he says, "What should I watch then?" And I would like to ask him if he likes sci-fi, what does he like, and then we could tell him exactly where to
Yeah.
start.
Exactly.
Mhm. Just tell me what is your all-time favorite movie, and we might be able to match one up to you. But it is very futuristic with the technology and with society, so it's not going to match up to many of the classics. But there are love stories in here. There are tragedies in
Yeah.
here. There's justice. There's spy. There's politics. There's everything. I whenever anybody says it to me, I go, each episode is its own little nugget. I would say if you're interested, just start from the beginning. Find out what all the hullabubb was out.
Right.
Go back to the first episode from 2011 and watch National Anthem, okay? And then remember back at that time what was going on in the UK, and then you'll find out why they didn't actually put the first episode out as the first episode in the UK. They refused to do it
They
because
did.
Okay,
because at the
Mr.
same
Malort says Event Horizon, which I freaking love.
Yeah,
Okay, so Charlie, based on Event Horizon, USS Callister. You'll
Callister.
enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it
Yes,
Yep.
because it's got all the kitschy sci-fi from Star
it
Trek and
does.
this and that. It's got otherworldly stuff, but it also is just a guy in a room just messing around with people.
Oh, yeah.
I USS Callister, one of also an absolutely brilliant episode. I loved that episode. Okay, but
It was a good
start with
one.
that. Mhm.
Here to help,
Yeah,
Malort. Here to help.
yeah.
We want to help. Yeah, that's it. That's it. But it's so hard to say worse than last because like I would even watch the one I hate the least over again. Like White Bear was uncomfortable, but I would watch it again. I would.
It is
Um,
very uncomfortable,
mhm.
but yeah, it's it's up there in my favorites though.
I mean, but Shut Up and Dance was good. I like that.
I
You
like
know,
that one.
there are some that just get a little bit like out there for me, like Waldo.
I Waldo is like it's right up like Bandersnatch is the bottom for me.
Hmm.
Waldo's right above Bandersnatch.
Hmm. Well, tell me what you're looking for most in season 6. Like, what are you most excited about?
Oh, what am I most excited about? Um,
I'm going
I
in
want
blind, so that's exciting enough.
Hmm.
I want to find out more about Red Mirror.
There is a and what she's referring to is I'll drop the link again. Here's the trailer for season 6 that Netflix put out. There are 5 episodes, and it mentions Red Mirror instead of Black Mirror. Is there
Uh-huh.
going to be a movie? Is there another series? Is the
Is it a
production company coming up with something of their own with Netflix's blessing? Because it's a Netflix production, but they announced that they have their own production company right in the trailer, right
right?
in it. Okay. And that was intriguing. Like, I want them to succeed. Okay. I think they're an amazing team.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they left together the other company and started their own, and
Oh,
that
I
they
am
stayed
too.
true to the Black Mirror. When they left Channel 4, the one thing you could say is that Brooker's feel for this whole series, the way that he did it, the way he wants to do it, did not change, no matter what platform he was on. So, I'm hoping that now with 6, it's going to be the same because he has his own production company. He's still in charge. He's still building the team himself, with the help of, Annabelle, Jones. And they just make an amazing team and they seem to build amazing teams. People
Well,
love working
the
with them.
job gets easier when you get such popular. The talent comes to you.
The
Right?
talent, yes, except for like you'll notice Brooker's not so much. He loves the name brand, the names. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna find in USS Callister a lot of names. Like you'll be surprised who's in it. They're good people. He gets good names. But if you've noticed, he really picks some obscure names also, and
He
they do
does.
great character portrayals. And that's what I mean by building teams. He's looking at the end product at the whole time. He has a clear image of what he wants it to look
He
like
does.
and be. And he builds a team around that that's able to do that. And it seems like cinematography gets on board with it and helps, and everybody just gets on board with the image. He must have. I've never had the pleasure of speaking with the man, but he must be one of those people that when he speaks to you, you see images, like you see exactly
You've
what he
got
means.
to.
Yeah.
You've got to.
Hmm.
I'm sure he is so descriptive.
And he's also very stubborn about keeping it his.
Yes.
Thankfully, because don't ever sell it out, Brooker,
No.
until you retire. If you want to give it to your kids, whatever, like do that. But do not give this to anybody. The last thing I want to see is like a like a White Christmas part 2. Like
Uh-uh.
God,
No.
just like, can you imagine? Can you
Oh my
imagine?
Yeah,
god.
Oh my
that's
God.
a cardinal rule with this one. Like, I don't think you can revisit a story. You shouldn't.
No.
No.
You really shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
The Easter eggs do that enough.
The
Yeah,
Easter
you
eggs are fun though, and
they
and
are
that's
fun.
yeah, and we have to think about like the Easter eggs for like next. There's Easter eggs in the trailer too, people.
There
So
are Easter
yeah,
eggs in the trailer.
hmm
I'm not going to give away any of
no,
them.
I'm gonna challenge the people in our chat if they are gonna come back next week. This is gonna be the time and place for Black Mirror for the next 5 weeks after
Yes.
here, 6 weeks going today plus 5 more. for the whole series. We're going to do it the day after. Like they were supposed to be released on Friday, right? But I thought they were coming out one at a time. But no,
No,
Netflix released the whole thing
the
for
whole
Friday.
thing.
But we're going to do them
No,
in
actually
order
on Thursday,
on Thursday. Okay, so we're
the
doing it
15th.
Saturday. Oh, no, I thought Thursday 15th was Saturday, Friday. Okay, never mind. I sometimes I'm on a different country time.
I
Forgive me.
will watch no
Yeah.
trailers.
Okay, but we're still doing them on Saturday. You watch you're not going to watch the trailer. The trailer's entertaining me
Hell
Charlie
no.
AF.
Charlie said
Okay.
he doesn't like trailers.
I like Virgin. I want to hear your Virgin Charlie view, Dane, after you watch the first
Exactly.
episode. Um, and I challenge everybody who is in the chat or who's listening on YouTube that may come by later. Well, let's go over those Easter eggs that you found in the
Yeah.
trailer. I want to talk about those during
I've
next episode next week. Okay, I want to give you time to all digest it and take the challenge and all. There's a lot of them in there.
I've got my list right here if you can hear
Yeah,
my
shh,
papers.
don't give him any clues.
I gave
I
Oh
want
Claire
to
a pretty
no.
good analogy earlier, but it might be offensive. So
a pretty good analogy of the
about
Easter
the
egg.
Easter eggs.
I would go for it. You want me to say it for you so they could be mad at me, not you? Like, I don't keep. It was
More
good.
hidden Easter eggs than a fat kid's sock drawer.
Sorry, but that's true. Or a chocoholic or
It
whatever.
really
Yeah,
is
yeah. Oh,
rife
I'm
with
telling
them.
you.
It's absolutely rife with them.
You know, it could also be like all of us who are parents or have grandchildren. It would be like that snack cabinet, up in the corner where they
Right?
can't reach over there on top of the refrigerator.
Where all the good stuff's really
Yes,
kept.
yes, like more than even in there.
Yeah.
Like he's he's really putting them in, and he actually, like he said, he definitely intends to do it some more.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's really looking forward to the different field. Things have changed so
Mhm.
much. He really wants to get the response on how different it is, and whether it relates now. He took the challenge on the world is changing and how far he should go to saying something big. Yes, Jujubee, one a week. You know,
Yes.
that's what we want to, that's what we've always done, just one a
About
week
all we
when we
can
went
handle.
backwards. And then there were some that we redid, like we redid some, like just because. And then we did like we're doing now, we're doing a preseason show. We did a
Uh-huh.
best of show or something where we talked about it because we were like, Kim and I had withdrawals
We
from
did.
Brooker. Like when we didn't have any more episodes to do, we were like,
Well, and remember where we did like that Brooker chat
we did a Brooker chat. Yeah.
and we found all of the different like the toy the talking toilet. That was great.
That's-
I need I need to find that again.
No, do not bring that to the next episode.
I need
You
to
heard
find that again.
YouTube, you heard me, right? I told her, do not bring the talking toilet to the next episode. No, I take my Brooker seriously. I do. Like,
I do too.
I'm not
I
down. I'm not
you
down with the talking toilet.
you know how serious I take my Brooker.
Juju, go full Jujubee. We love a full
Yes,
Jujubee.
we
We
do.
want the opinion. Like, not everybody has to love Brooker. If you don't like it, I want to hear why. Like, because I want to see what you saw in it. That's the beauty about this. Everybody sees something different. That's why they call it niche. That's why they call it not everybody's cup of tea. But I love it. I'm a Brookerite. I'm a fan. Like I sing his accolades everywhere. I've watched everything he's done. And while he was on hiatus, waiting for the IP to be released, he did a lot more comedy stuff, and he dabbled a little into comedic,
He did.
politics, which that's kind of my thing. Like, are you
And
for
he
real?
does he does have a zombie movie out.
He does have a zombie movie out. Yes. Do
And
you
it's
remember the
actually
name? Do you remember the name of that one?
it's
Because I
actually
think,
pretty good. I can find
yeah,
it really quickly for you.
yeah, that'd be good because I think they would like that. So there's more to Charlie Brooker than Black Mirror, but Black Mirror is the best of Brooker. Absolutely. And I can't imagine anybody that could do it. I mean, if you've read Bradbury or Sagan or Asimov or, oh gosh, Douglas Adams, um, even Terry Pratchett, like,
Oh
or
yeah.
any of this that actually deals with, the world at the end of it or at its re-beginning or some kind of disaster happening or just other worlds in general, and then it's
Yeah.
still with that human, how does it apply to what you're dealing with, like right now? You will find things that you can apply to your life, like
Right.
right now, you'll see similarities. I mean, in all these episodes of Flying Cars, remember when we did Brave New World and all of this, and they're like, nah, that could never happen. Mm-mm.
Right.
No, Soylent Green, phew, impossible. No, please, people, like, it's not that they knew the future. It's just that you could actually, it was already there.
It
It was
was.
already there, and it's just nobody's paying attention to it. And I think
Right.
that's what Brooker's point is in a lot of this. When you look at the technology that he shows in his episodes, it's not that far off. Charlie, in your favorite episodes, Metal Dog, look at those dogs. We see those dogs dancing all over the place now, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I mean,
Think about
Elon,
Nosedive.
yeah, think about nosedive. When that Chinese government, that happens right now. You have to
Yeah.
use that app to do everything. And the bigger your score, the better you are, then you get all your privileges. It is the same. It's not exactly the same, but it's
Very similar.
very, it's so similar that everybody recognized it when they saw it.
Yeah.
And it was going on. Like it was already there. So, you know, he's a little more informed and aware, and he's actually looking at it and looking at it and then taking that little piece of knowledge and then turning it into a whole big story. Like
Right.
for all we know, he saw an article on the Chinese thing and just it went from there. Like what would a world like that actually look like? Not just a country, not just a county. Like that's like one big major city in China that started in. When the
Yep.
first articles came out, it was just one city that did all that, and you had to do that. And can you imagine? Then now he takes that little bit of information and goes, "What would a whole world like that look like?" And that's what he gave us. He gave us
Yeah.
that picture. Yeah. So it was really, really, really
Um,
good.
the zombie is dead set. It's
Dead set?
yes, it's actually several episodes, so it's not a movie. I was wrong there. It was originally made in 2008, and it is supposed to take place on a set of a reality show similar to Big Brother when they
Yep.
have a zombie outbreak.
I've seen it. Yep.
And it
It's
really
on
is,
Netflix. I
yeah, it
think I
really
saw it
was.
too. I
Yeah.
think I don't think I saw all of it, but I do remember some of this.
I see zombie
And
everything.
yeah,
Nothing
and
gets past
Charlie
me.
Mm.
Brooker is actually in, I believe it's episode 2.
He's actually in it. Oh, I'm gonna go watch
Yes.
that. I'm
So
gonna watch that just
it's
for that.
not on Netflix anymore. I just looked.
Oh, it's not. I just said it was.
No.
Okay, I lied to you in the chat, people. I'm gonna have to check that
I'll
out.
have
Mhm.
to try to find out where it can be seen now.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's not on Netflix, I don't want to leave this up there for people to get
Yeah,
confused. I I try so hard not to do misinformation. Like,
I know.
but there we go. And then there, I'll just put it without the Netflix and delete that one. Zombies would be good. Mrs. Cassandra, you'd like it. Maybe we can I'll see if we can find it. Maybe we'll do a showing of it. It
Yeah,
would be
I'm
good.
trying to figure
Yeah.
out where we can
Mhm,
watch it.
mhm. I know those books, right? Jujubee, Space Odyssey, all of these. Like
Oh, yeah.
we all may not be around the same age, but we're close enough that these books, these classics, they were around. They were on reading lists for crikey, right? Just like
Yeah,
Catcher in the Rye. You're 30 or you're 50 or you're 60, you still read it. It's on the reading list. Like you had
exactly.
to if you're from the United States. I'm not sure about other countries' reading lists, but like we've read them,
Yeah,
in a lot of sci-fi, it was what was going on. And Monty Python. There you go. Now you know why I'm so weird.
I
That
love
was my
Monty
life.
Python.
That was my life. I lived on Monty Python in sci-fi
I
novels.
love
Neat.
Monty Python.
Mhm, mhm. That's it. All right. Last words, everybody. I don't want to keep you guys too long. So let's start with you, Charlie.
Brooker Hooker Nation. Last word.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. How about you, Kim?
I'm just, I'm so ready for this. I'm ready for Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Do they all come on at once?
They do on
They
Thursday.
are.
All six or five will be out, right? And I don't know if they're doing a split season or not. Netflix is famous for buying up 12 or 13 episodes and then cutting them in half.
Yep.
Right. And so they may wait a couple of months and put out another 6. I don't know. But
Right?
I would say, like, digest them slowly because it's not uncommon for there to be 2 years between series with Brooker. He's very detailed. but it's appreciated with the product that he puts out. It stands the test of time. That's what I would like to say, Les. And also to thank you both for joining me up here. This was fun for me. This is
Thank you,
I
Claire,
can't
for
I
having
can't
us.
tell you how much I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it.
I spent Saturday night with two lovely ladies at the same time. Couldn't be worse.
Oh, could it be worse?
Charlie,
See, see?
thank you.
That is lovely, Charlie. Thank you. That is. I
And,
hope you all come back. Everybody in the chat. No
yeah.
idea what this is all about, but listening to the conversation. Okay, well, I am glad. Hopefully
We're
you
glad
liked the
you're here.
conversation. I'll tell you what, Christopher, you need to watch just one episode. You
Yes,
might get hooked too. I
you
mean,
really
come on.
might.
And if you do watch it, please, like, let's have a conversation. I want to hear about it. And you too, Mr. Mayo, if you watch that tonight, I want to hear from you because,
Yeah,
like, we could talk privately, or you can come up here and tell me on whether or not we've converted you, or if there's hope, because
yeah.
I might not be the Brooker's hooker, but I'm definitely Brooker fan. And I'm gonna be coming out here
You're the
singing
Brooker
his
looker. I'm the Brooker tooker. She's the Brooker hooker.
I'm the
Oh,
Brooker hooker.
okay. Looker, tooker, and hooker.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. On that, I think we're done. Chat, thank you so much for
Thank you,
hanging out with us
everyone.
while we indulged ourselves in you know, our love of Brooker. Hopefully you'll join us next week, 9 o'clock on Saturday. And as far as anything else going on with the channel, I'll probably do a true crime this week. Maybe. We'll see. I think I might be able to do it on Tuesday if y'all want to come back for that. But definitely doing this one every Saturday, every Saturday. And then moving what the actual fuckery, mayhem, and AITs to like Friday night, just like for this series, because I think Saturday just belongs to Brooker. It's a party night for me. So
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. On that, thank you all. Thank you
Party.
to my mods. Thank you to everybody on here. Thank you for everybody watching on the replay. Don't forget to do the YouTube things. I should have just put that up real quick while I said that. You got to like, you got to share, do all of that stuff. Algorithms stink. And the one thing that I learned here on YouTube is everybody's always complaining about the algorithm. They're saying it all has to do with engagement. And I used to think that was bollocks. I would tell people right to the face, oh, bull, people, whatever. But it's true. YouTube's a huge place. So
Algorithm and blues.
if you don't hit the like, if you don't put a comment on there, then YouTube says like nobody's engaging with you. You're going over here in the dustbin, booby. Like that, we don't care. You're going over here. And then they just don't put it out for anybody. Not that I'm that big into the numbers, but I think we can get a couple more Brooker fans if we just push
Oh,
this
yeah.
out a little bit more. And
We
I would
gotta
like
we
to
gotta
see
get live in Las Vegas where Brooker hookers are legal. They're all over the place there.
But if you're really interested in Black Mirror and you want to learn a lot more, I've got the Reddit listed below and also a Discord that runs on all the seasons and stuff like that. I'm in both. There's some good information. There's
I'm in
fans in
both.
there. Yeah, they'll talk to you about stuff, give you some more history and all. But if you really want to
Yeah.
check it out, all 5 seasons are on Netflix right now. And next Thursday, as Kim said, Thursday coming, they're going to release the new season.
Which
And
technically means midnight on Thursday morning, I
I was
think.
going to say, is it 12:01? Can I call in sick that day?
well, that means it is Friday. Okay, so like that's
No.
why I'm thinking it's Friday.
No,
huh?
I think it actually is
12:01
Thursday, and I think it'll be at
Thursday.
midnight Thursday morning.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because, hey, I will pull an all-nighter
Yeah. Okay.
watching.
Oh well, gosh, you don't have
Brooker
to.
hookers are creatures of the night. Got
I
to do
guess-
it.
That's right.
I guess. Oh my God! All right, we're out of here. They did me in, people. They absolutely did me in. Anyway, thank you all for your support. Thank you for being here. Have a
Yes,
wonderful
Jen.
weekend. What did?
Just yes, Jen. That's all. Sorry.
Oh, candy. Okay, I get the pre-review, right, Jean? And then we'll do the printing. Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
All right, here we go. All right. Thanks again, Kim.
Thanks,
Thank you,
ladies.
Charlie.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
moderators.
Charlie.
Everybody in the chat, everybody watching later. Have an absolutely wonderful night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.